In this video we're going to talk about how a programming language has grammar, and this can be known as Backus-Naur form. In this example we're going to look at variable names, and so some valid variable names are shown on the left here. So x, xy, xyz, xzx, and yzz. So a combination of between 1 and 3 characters. There's a mixture of x, y, and z. And if we were to write this out, the grammar of this language out, using Backus-Naur form, we could say that the variable name is equal to a letter, or it could be a letter followed by another letter, or it could be a letter followed by a letter followed by another letter. And we normally do that on one line. Now, this identifier here identifies variables. Okay, so what is a valid variable? Well, a variable is. Okay, this part here says that is. And letter is another identifier that we have to define. So let's do that. So letter is, and this is where we can actually give values. So in our example on the left hand side, valid variable names include the letters x, y, or z only. So we can say that the letter is x, and that straight line for or y, or z. And that is an example using Backus-Naur form to define the grammar of a language for valid variable names. In this example, we are going to create the Backus-Naur form from a syntax diagram, and a syntax diagram is something which looks a lot like a flowchart, but it defines, again, it's another way of defining the grammar of a programming language. And so this is a syntax diagram for the same example as the previous image. So variable is a letter by itself, or variable is a letter and a letter, or variable is a letter followed by a letter followed by another letter. Okay, so there's only 3 possibilities here, but this up arrow above the other 2 letter boxes means that these 2 are optional. And just to define the second part of the previous example, we had to define what a letter was. Here we go. So in the previous page we said that the valid letters that we could use are either x or y or z. Okay, so x or y or z. It has to be one of those 3. There's no other path. They're not optional. And because it's in a circle, that's an actual character rather than an identifier. So just to reinforce that, if we convert from a syntax diagram, the variable is var is letter, and then or letter letter, or letter letter letter. And the Backus-Naur form for the identifier called letter is x or y or z. Oh.